Oh, yo, guys, like, oh my god. Yo, we have to talk about this episode. If you did not watch it, click off of this video. I can't even, oh my god. This episode was, I was not expecting it to be as freaking phenomenal. Oh my god. You guys have no, like, did you not get hype? Oh, okay. Ooh. Oh, alright, yo. So let's talk about this episode. We have to. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Oh, I'm gonna miss this show when it's not on the... God, I'm sorry, guys. I was so hyped that I stormed out of the living room. Alright, guys, so let's talk about this episode. So, you know, it starts off with Topo, of course, faring off with Android 17. And I have a lot of questions about this, because if he knows that if you accidentally kill somebody, you'll be eliminated, or in this case, destroy with the Hakai. If he does it, he gets eliminated. The whole time I was confused, like, why are you sending out all these Hakai blasts? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. If one accidentally overtakes 17, you're gonna destroy him. I don't know if they even thought about that when they made this episode, or when they wanted to make Topo transform to show off his God of Destruction power. Sorry, my dog came with his toy. To show off his God of Destruction power, but that was kind of very questionable to me, just throwing the Hakais around just so effortlessly. So he was putting it through the mountains, and he really didn't need that. With his new buff, his new speed in this state, he didn't need to chase around after Android 17 on the battlefield and destroying mountains. And what I thought was also interesting, and maybe because the Hakai energy is nullifying ki, was that he was able to even be toppled, but Topo being toppled. Topo being toppled. Say that 5 times fast. Topo being toppled. Anyways, he was able to be toppled by the concrete, the rubble, whatever you want to call it. He was actually underneath it, and until he actually used destroy to get rid of it, he was underneath it. So I thought that was crazy. All right, so he's going after 17. They're doing all this, and it hits this scene where 17 is absolutely being destroyed by the barrage that Topo is sending at him. Just ki blast coming out of both hands. Android 17 is trying his hardest to block him, but he keeps getting hit. And eventually he breaks down. His guard breaks and he falls to his knees. Topo towers over him and says, "I can't risk destroying you as well, so I'll end it with this." And with that said, man, my man Topo lifts up one hand like he's about to do a freaking Terror Destroyer from Digimon, Black Boy Greymon. Anyways, but no, so he lifts his hand up in the air. He has one big blast. He's about to slam it right on 17. Who comes in with the save? Frieza comes in with the save. A mere fingertips ki blast to the big orb that Topo was about to slam down on 17. Boom, explosion happens. 17 flies away, and then Frieza and Topo are now facing off. They're having a nice little conversation. Frieza acknowledges that Topo is now a God of Destruction. He says, "Hey man, here's my gratitude." And then he paralyzes him in like a spear, which Frieza has had as a move in the games. And then he does his signature rock throw at Topo while he is in the sphere of paralysis that Frieza has him in. But it doesn't matter, because my man is buffed up times a million now. So when he gets hit, he's just like, what about it? So Frieza gets mad. He's like, oh, my little rocks aren't doing anything. So he starts to shoot all these ki blasts at him. But it doesn't matter. Topo eventually yells. He gets out. He does a brawly. He comes after Frieza, grabs the little dude by his throat. And is it me? Hold on. Is it me? Or is Topo like 2 feet taller now? Like, I feel like my man Topo has taken some Nutrigrow and he is super tall now. He grabs him, he throws him. We get a nice little scene where 17 is, shooting ki blast. Frieza's shooting ki blast. I think they actually reused the scene where 17 is shooting the Ki Blast, because it looked really familiar to me. I swear I've seen that before. So they're shooting them, explosions are everywhere, the stage is getting destroyed, the smoke is in the air, and of course Topo is fine. Of course he's fine. So, you know, he says, try against me as you will with this power of destruction, you'll never win. And then he says, I'll knock you guys off the fighting stage. And then while he's talking, immediately right after, he's like, be thankful I didn't destroy you. And then we get, you know, Ki, like, it's not even Ki. It's like after effects from Vegeta and Goku fighting, what's his name? Fighting Jiren. And it's dope. They're both going in. And what caught me off guard was when Jiren said, you impudent bastards. Now, I don't know what they're doing with this man's personality, but they show some things in this episode that really make you feel, man, I thought Jiren was an almighty warrior of full respect and was not one of this negative attitude, but we're starting to see some things come from Jiren's attitude where it's a little bit questionable. So look, right after after they all land, the smoke settles, Jiren and Topo are side by side. Vegeta comes in with the punch, and then Jiren and Topo both acknowledge this, and then this is dope, alright? This is dope. I'm rooting for both sides here, but this is really sick. So they both acknowledge it. They have a plan. Without even communicating, they know what's up. They separate Goku and Vegeta. Topo, it begins immediately, you know, firing from the tips of his hands, from the palms of his hands, all these Ki Blasts at Vegeta, and they do this nice little shot where it shows Vegeta trying to block him. He's blocking with his left elbow, blocking with his right elbow, blocking left, blocking right, blocking left, and then eventually, you know, he manages to get away from the barrage of Ki that Topo is shooting at him. So what Vegeta does, you know, my boy Vegeta, oh man, my boy Vegeta. He begins to do a final flash, and for him, it's a mere testament of his strength. You know, he's yelling at Topo right after he fires the final flash, you won't defeat me with energy of destruction. So he shoots the final flash, and Topo immediately sends out the Hakai energy spears at Vegeta, and they do this nice effect. They're really capitalizing on how the Hakai energy nullifies regular Ki, or whatever you want to say that is being tossed at him. It nullifies it, so you see all these sparkles and whatnot. Man, it's getting good, because we get a nice conversation between Vegeta and Topo, and this is what I was talking about on the on my previous episode, where I said Topo lost, you know, he lost more than anyone else in this tournament so far. So Vegeta's like, man, so that's his power as a god of destruction. And then he focuses, and I got a little mad, because I was like, man, he always focuses on his promise to Kappa. That's what he's thinking about. Right as he's thinking about it, Topo lunges in, punches Vegeta in the face, teleports behind him. I don't know if this man has instant transmission or if he's that fast. Shoots him in a blast in the back. Vegeta's going in the air. Topo flies up, does a cross arm, slamming Vegeta down into the ground. But Vegeta's not out. Vegeta gets out, jumps back. Topo comes out the smoke. Topo does a kick. Vegeta dodges, and then Vegeta kicks him right in the back of his calf, crumpling him, making him fall a little bit. And then they separate. And then Vegeta says, is this really the same warrior from before? We get the flashbacks to where Vegeta and Topo were fighting before, and we were all like, man, we really wish we could see this fight. We don't like that this fight is happening off screen, but guys, we are getting the better version of this. We are getting the much better version of it, because these two characters are both in a much more powered up state. They both have gained new forms, and now they're going at it. And not only are they going at it, but we're actually able to see to the full extent of it. Topo and Vegeta are now in a standoff, and Vegeta says, after all that talk about justice, now you're talking about destruction. And they're not just a standoff. Topo has both fists lunged out at Vegeta, and Vegeta has both of Topo's fists in his hand. So, you know, they're at the standard, you know, WWE, like who's gonna overpower who. And so what I really like is Vegeta saying, after all that talk about justice, now you're talking about destruction. He's getting at, like, look, man, you were somebody who was so high on your morals before, but now you're the complete opposite of what you want. He says, that's quite a change. And then Topo says, if justice can't protect our universe, then it's worthless. and then he kicks Vegeta, shoots him with another blast. It actually sends Vegeta through quite a bit of mountains on the tournament arena, locking him into a mountain. Then he says, he mocks Vegeta. He says, "I promised amongst Saiyans, don't make me laugh. You won't beat me while you bear unnecessary things like that." Guys, Toppo says, "I will survive at all costs. To that end, I've cast aside everything unnecessary." So look, what he's saying is literally what I was getting at in my video, where you guys need to check it out, where I'm talking about Toppo lost more than anything. Literally, he is saying that by you wanting to keep these promises and stuff, this is what's making you weak. You are holding on to things that you shouldn't hold on to. You should be trying to win this tournament at all costs. Forget your morals, forget your code of ethics, forget what you stand by. You need to just fight to win for your universe. That is what Toppo is saying. Now, I disagree with that. Like, I can totally understand, you know, everything's on the line. You have to do what you have to do, but you do not have to give up who you are as a person. It's one thing to know that this is a situational battle and you know you have to do what you need to do to win, but to give up the piece of yourself that you hold dear, nah man, that doesn't fly with me. And Vegeta, it doesn't fly with him either. Toppo then does another big blast. He throws it at Vegeta while Vegeta's in the mountain, and then Toppo says his farewell words of, you know, disappear Universe 7. And as it's coming to him, Vegeta finally does what I've been wanting him to do. This whole time, I have been wanting Vegeta to not reflect on his promise to Kaba, but I want him to reflect on the things that he has dear to him. I want him to reflect on his family, his newborn child. That's what I want him to think of. And boy, not only does he start to think that, he says, get rid of all things that are unnecessary. Screw that. And then he says, Bulma, Trunks, Bola. It shows a picture of his newborn daughter with Bulma holding him and Trunks to the left. And then that epic theme comes on. He's thinking about Kaba and his pride as just a Saiyan himself. Everything that he holds dear. He says, I'm not like you. I cast aside nothing. And Vegeta flies after my man Toppo. He powers up. I don't know if like he nullified the Hakai. He flies through. He delivers a mean ass punch right to Toppo's face. Sends him a barrage of ki. And Toppo, you know, Toppo is at a different level. But Vegeta still goes in. He goes in. He fights Toppo through the blast, through the mountain. Toppo sends another blast. Vegeta goes through it. And he says, with only this amount of power, how can you call yourself strong? And he's pummeling him to the face. And Toppo is taking all of them, completely bewildered. Vegeta does his signature kick, the same one he did to Frieza in Resurrection of F, the movie version where he kind of kicks him, his leg is arched, and he's like kind of standing at the side. Oh man, I need a bottle of water. You guys just don't know how hype I am. Toppo tries to get up. He says, we shall survive at all costs. And boy, do you not know what happened next? He sends out another Hakai blast, and Vegeta, with his fist wrapped around in the blue God Key, punch it. I'm choking. I seriously need water. He punches through the damn Hakai and punches Toppo in the face. Toppo is like, what? Vegeta says, you're a loser who can't even protect his own pride. I won't lose to someone like you. And then all you can hear is Toppo saying, destroy. That's all he's trying to do. He's missing. Vegeta comes at him anyways as he's still shooting out these Hakais that are just hitting everything in the background. But he keeps saying destroy, and Vegeta stops everything. One of his hands is holding a Hakai. Vegeta kicks it, and he says, I'll give you an attack too powerful to destroy. Vegeta begins to power up, and this is the thumbnail everybody keeps seeing on videos where they were talking about, you know, episode 126 predictions, and you see an aura, a full yellow sphere of aura, fully encapsulates Vegeta. Everybody's like, man, that's an incredible amount of power, but Piccolo is like, is that? And then we get the song that came when the Goku Black arc, I believe, you know, that song whenever Goku Black would appear. And we have a flashback of Majin Vegeta about to do, you know, what was it called? Majin Explosion? I don't remember the exact name for it. I don't even think in the show it actually had a name, but in the games it does. You know, when he says farewell Bulma and Trunks and even you Kakarot, and then he blows himself up and he turns into stone. He's petrified because he detonated all of his energy right at Majin Buu to take him away, all for it to be in vain because Majin Buu was not gone. So after they do this flashback, I'm starting to get worried because I'm thinking, Vegeta, what are you doing? Like, yo, I don't want to lose you. Like, yo, you're my favorite person. Like, what are you doing? So as he's powering up, Topo begins to do the same. Vegeta's yelling, Topo's yelling. Topo has 2 different Hakais in each hand, and then he puts them together, kind of like how Vegeta does the Final Flash, where he puts the 2 orbs together and combines them in one hand. Topo does the same thing with 2 Hakais. Vegeta's yelling, Topo's yelling, and then Topo launches the double Hakai attack right at Vegeta. And so now you can see that the clash is happening between Vegeta's aura and Topo's Hakai. Vegeta's yelling, Topo's yelling. You see the vein, and I mean, this part was so sick. So you see the Hakai go into Vegeta, and you're like, yo, this is it. This is it. Vegeta was... He's about to be lost, you know, completely in vain. Dang it, it happened again. Big explosion. But then you see Vegeta's attack come through. You see Topo screaming as he's getting encapsulated by Vegeta's massive explosion. The whole tournament is encapsulated. Probably the biggest explosion we've seen on the arena so far. Everything's encapsulated. Yellow. The screen fades, it comes back, the arena is literally destroyed, and what do we see? Yo, this is what made me lose it. This is what made me lose it. You see a little red star fly across the screen, and then you see Topo appear on the bench. I was like, what? Yo, what do you mean? I was not expecting Topo to go out in this episode. Now, you know, also I haven't been looking at spoilers or anything, but this moment for me was so awesome. I was not expecting it. When Topo appeared on there, for me, that was my Super Bowl. This was my Super Bowl. When I saw Topo appear on that bench, I was like, Vegeta did it! Vegeta did it! Yes! But then I got scared. The reason why I got scared is because they weren't showing Vegeta. They also weren't showing, if I don't recall, I don't remember them showing Zeno go on the God Pad and actually touching Topo's face off. So I was like, wait a second, something's not right. They're not showing Vegeta, and everybody's like, what about Vegeta? And then Piccolo's like, Vegeta sacrificed himself to defeat Topo. And I'm like, no, I did not want the showdown to finally happen and Vegeta not be involved. But then as we look, we have a crater, and this is such. What are you doing, dog? My dog's playing with himself. This is such an homage to that episode, because this is what would have happened. Vegeta is now in the crater, and interestingly enough, he's in the typical no top, but the bottoms are all there. Look like Goku. I don't recall ever seeing Vegeta take that type of battle damage before, where he doesn't have his top, but his bottoms are fully there. So are his shoes. His gloves are gone. That is one thing you need to know. Vegeta does not have his gloves on, and he is in a fight. Vegeta without his gloves is like a magical thing. This is so different to me. I cannot recall for the longest a time where Vegeta does not have his gloves on. But guys, Vegeta is there. Vegeta is perfectly good. And he says, I'm not dead yet. Yes! Not only did he hold true to his values, he stood by everything he believed in. He's working hard on keeping this promise to not just his family, to keep them alive, but also to Kaba. He was able to detonate such a large amount of ki that he took out Topo in his God of Destruction form, and he's still there. So then your next fear is like, yo, he used up all of his energy though. I'm expecting Jiren to come in at some point and immediately knock him off. That's what I'm expecting. Or I'm expecting Vegeta to be like, all my power is gone. I'm just gonna go ahead and step out. But that doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. 17 comes out of the rubble, and then everybody's like 17, and then they say there's just one enemy left, and everybody says we're counting on you, Jiren. And this is the moment I'm talking about. This right here. It shows a scene where Dispo has Toppo over his shoulder, because Toppo's messed up. Jiren's standing on a tall mountain overseeing everybody who's in the fight still, and he glances over at Toppo, and he says, "How pathetic. I expected more from you." Yo! And then Dispo's like, "What?" with a big sweat mark. And then Goku's like, "How can you say that?" And then freaking Jiren does a roundhouse kick to Goku. We got Vegeta standing holding his arm, and then Jiren says, "You've gained this much power without casting anything aside. Congratulations on defeating Toppo. Well done." As he's looking at Vegeta. And then, man, what is gonna happen on the next episode? Jiren with an interesting face says, "Now feast your eyes on this," and he begins to power up. He is completely powering up. The mountain that he's on, you're seeing it crumble, and everybody's like, "Yo, what is he gonna do? And then the timer drops. Guys, we got 4 minutes left. This is amazing. Like, wow, I'm looking at how long I've been talking. It's been 21 minutes. Yo, this is amazing. We're getting revelations about. All right, hold on, pause. Let's put some things in perspective. If you've made it this far, think about this. Just think about this. We're seeing some interesting dynamics happen here with the Pride Troopers, okay? We're seeing the one who used to embody justice to the highest degree, was the symbol of it on his team, was the one who you knew held that honor code for justice, throwing everything away, letting it go, and is now the complete opposite. He accepted God of the Destruction rank. And then you have Jiren, who initially seemed like the all good, all peaceful, I'm doing this only because I have to warrior, who seemed to have honor amongst other warriors, and never had any sign of disrespect. Calls Goku and Vegeta bastards now, and then he calls Toppo, his own teammate. He says, "How pathetic. I was expecting more from you." Like, that's such a revelation in his character. So we're seeing these people on the Pride Troopers team just change so much that, look, guys, listen. When this tournament of power is over, there would be no way that they could even go back to being the Pride Troopers that they once were. There's no way. Toppo has now dropped justice. In his eyes, he's dropped the code that he lived by. So he can't be a Pride Trooper no more. I guarantee it. That would be his self-conflict right there. And in Jiren has, there is something more going on with Jiren. Like, I need to know his full backstory, like, right now. Because I can't see him garnering this outfit anymore after this either, because he's, they're probably like, "Whoa, man, why are you talking so bad about our team?" That's never something that we do. We're the Pride Troopers, we're sticking through the end. Whew. So the next episode preview, they show Jiren powering up. They don't really show much. They show Jiren overpowering him. They show a large barrier of his ki, and Android 17 happens to be the only one to be standing against it while Goku and Vegeta are knocked out. Now, we do also get to see Vegeta in the new blue state still. So Vegeta still has some kick in him. I'm pretty sure it was the new blue. It looked pretty dark. Vegeta still has some kick in him, so that's great. He's still going to be able to assist Goku in fighting Jiren. That's awesome. But we now know that obviously Goku is going to be probably the main one. 17 is going to do his stand in this episode, and he's probably going to get eliminated. They didn't show anything about Frieza, but Frieza's also still there. So, it's probably going to come down to Goku, Vegeta, and Frieza against Toppo. And with what happened with Vegeta, don't be surprised if Vegeta gets eliminated. And if 17 for sure, we already know he's going to get eliminated. Don't be surprised if it comes down to Goku and Frieza versus Topo, and then eventually Goku versus Topo. But the way they may win is they may still have, you know, more wars. There's only 4 minutes left. I don't think Jiren is going to destroy everybody else on that team, and it'd be just 2 and then in the draw. It's going to go... Oh, I got to say this one in the video. Woo! I'm talking too much. Guys, I give this episode a 5 out of 5. It didn't have to have the best animators on staff. It didn't have to have all the new forms. It just had the right amount of just events that made this so perfect for me. I'm gonna shut up now. You guys, if you've made it this far, thank you so much for listening to me. I appreciate you guys, but this episode was so sick, and I can't wait to talk to all you guys about it, and I can't wait to talk to my friends about it outside of this as well. So, without that, guys, I'm gonna let you go. I'm hopping off. You guys have a great rest of your night. I don't even know if I want to upload this video with just my voice and a picture, or if I want to try and do the typical pictures with the voice, but you guys will obviously see it at that point. Yo guys, this is Senzu, and I'll catch you on the next one. Y'all have a great night.